Hey everybody, Paul Kane here. Welcome to Buyer's Blueprint, and in today's video, by the end of it, you'll be able to spot red flags and find hidden information inside a CarFax report. And at the end, I'll show you where you can get a CarFax report for under 10 bucks. So let's get right into it. I made a few notes here on the board. I know the title says 10, but I made 11 here. And that's because I wanted to start actually with this one. This one was the fresh one that I added VIN. Check the VIN, because a lot of times the numbers are, the 17-digit VIN is identical except for a couple numbers. And it's only as smart as the person entering the information. They switch two numbers and all of a sudden you're looking at a exact car, but just not that exact car. And so that would be number one. So that leads into number two, .ca versus .com. They are now the same company as of around 2 or 3 years ago. Canada used to be called CarProof, and now it's CarFax. They were bought out, and depending on who pulls it, if it's an individual, private, or if it's a dealership, and whether or not you're in Canada or United States, they look different. So this is a dealership version here, and this is a private individual here, and they all have many pages to them, but they all look different. How they lay it all out is different, but the information is the same. So this is going to lead me into my well, not yet actually. So next on this one here, the different reports, it's the same company, but they don't actually communicate with each other. So they might, for example, if you're in the United States and you see some Canadian history on the car, you can be guaranteed that there's way more information than just that one little line or word or information piece on United States CarFax from the dealer than there would be if you were to pull the Canadian CarFax. So my advice would be to pull a Canadian CarFax if you see anything that is from the other country, whether you're Canada and the United States or United States and Canada. It's very important because they won't share, especially accident damage. Numbers are not communicated across at all. What's interesting about Canada is, and I'll get to that in a minute, but number three, you can find alerts on the report that says, there's been rollback issues or odometer issues. And generally speaking, 80% of the time, 80-20 rule, that's when someone changes their oil in the States or changes their oil in Canada when they're from the other country, and the person entering could have just entered it wrong, or maybe they decided to change it to kilometers even though the dash is in miles, and then the algorithm on CarFax says, oh hey, it's up here and now it's back down there, it's rollback issue. Not always, but it's definitely something to dig deep into and follow the history of the report to see where the issue might have popped up, which will now bring me into zero claim. So for example, in Canada, it's pretty awesome because they show the actual value, dollar value of the damage on the claim, if it's reported. And so in the States they don't. It's small, medium, and large type damage. However, they do it in all these different variations of it, but they don't give you the dollar value. So how are you supposed to be able to tell what's what? How much was the damage? There's no real way. But in Canada, what you need to look out for is a $0 claim. So what the dealership will tell you, or what a private seller will tell you, is I went in to make a claim, but the damage was less than my deductible, which makes total sense and can happen sometimes. But many times it's not that at all. It's that the insurance company has not paid the claim out yet, so their out-of-pocket expense is still zero at the time that the report was pulled, or the claim was denied, and then a buyer would go and try to get the repairs done at a facility that doesn't report, so that it won't affect the sale price of their car when they go to sell it. And that's why the insurance agency never paid any money out, and that's why it's a zero claim. That's a zero claim. That's why that's only in Canada, because they don't put numerical values on the reports in the United States. So the next thing you can do is look at the comments, because depending on the severity of the accident, in the comments there'll be all kind of interesting language. For example, unable to move under its own power, or That's pretty obvious. Or that it's a bigger accident, not a small, a minor damage. Why would the car need to be towed if it was minor damage, right? Or simply put, towed away, towed from scene. Another good one is injuries reported. It can't be necessarily a small accident if people were injured and the police reported injuries. And one that often slips through the cracks is a recycling facility. Look out for that one as well. So anyways, look in the comments, and in there you'll see all this language that, that if you don't read the comments, you won't really know what's going on. And so back to this and this, the next one is non-reporting. So CarFax will lead you to believe that they get, we've got billions of reports, on all these cars that are out there, and that's great, that's fantastic. But literally there should be trillions, and the problem is that many repair facilities and service shops don't report to CarFax. A, because it costs them money to report to CarFax, and B, they're going to lose business because, like I was explaining to you over here, the owner of the car doesn't want the accident to report because it's going to cost them when not only are they going to be out of pocket to pay for the repair because insurance isn't paying for it, but they're going to be even more out of pocket when they go to sell it, and the buyer says, "Oh, look at this big accident on here. I need a big discount." So they're going to pay for the repair and lose on the sale. So they don't want that. So what happens often is the customer will go in, they'll say, "Hi, Mr. Repair Guy, do you report to CarFax?" They say, "Of course we do. We're up and up, and this is awesome." And then the guy will say, "Okay, well, thanks anyways. I got to go to somewhere that doesn't," and then they lose business. So it's a business proposition to choose not to report to CarFax. But if you're looking through the comments and you see, or one of the trade lines, the taglines is auction. I don't have a problem with that, and millions and millions and millions of cars are sold through auction all the time. But what I like about it is they've got to inspect the shiznit out of the car, and they've got to report what they find. So, well, at least to the seller and to the buyer. But if it is frame damage, they report to CarFax. So if it says sold or bought at auction and it doesn't mention anything in the comments, that's actually good news, right? It'll help you get a better idea of, at least up until that point in time, what the car's history should be. And then also one thing that you should look at is time to report. And the reason I mention that is because a lot of times cars will sit around a lot for a long time, sometimes years. But mostly dealerships would like to sell cars in 45 days, but they don't. It takes 90, 120, sometimes a year. And what they'll be doing is they'll be showing you the car proof, that's the Canadian one, CarFax, that they pulled when they got the car, but it's a year old. So there's two things on that. So check the date on the report. So that's what I'm on right now. And then, well, no, I won't do that yet. I won't do that one yet. But so check the date on the report. Why? Because you can see if it's a really current one. I encourage you to pull your own anyway, so you have up to the last second information on that car. Why? Because the dealership will have a really old one, and again, time to report. Some claims, accidents, titling issues, odometer issues, some information just takes over a year to get to CarFax. So the newest CarFax you can get, once you narrow your car purchasing down to one specific car and you want to get that one, pull that CarFax there, right then and there, that last minute, because a lot of things take, like I said, over a year to report to CarFax. And if the CarFax you're seeing from the dealership is months old, there could be very likelihood that there's new information on there. Liens generally report right away, which is why Canada has a lien guarantee, because why would they'd never have to pay it out, because it's so current. There'll never be a lien on the car that's not reporting on the CarFax if you get it just when you buy it. And then the other thing is that time to report, if the CarFax is old, like I said, some things take forever to show up, and then you could look at the CarFax, buy the car, and then when you go to sell the car, that item will show up, and then all of a sudden the value of your car dropped. And I'm going to shoot another video about the buyback guarantee that CarFax offers, And that one is awesome because most people sell their cars in around 2+ years, but their guarantee is only good for 1 year from date of purchase. So by the time you find out that new information showed up on your report, there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. So last two here, in-service dates, really important. So if you're shopping for an exact car and there's two that you like, and one is in service, let's say you're looking at a 2015 whatever. One might have been in service, June, July, August, September of 2014, and the other one might not have bought till 2016. So theoretically, I should have used a newer year, but theoretically one could have an extra 1.5 years of warranty on it, which is super valuable, not only because you're getting something for nothing if the two cars are priced the same, but also you now are covered for 1.5 years on anything that goes wrong in the car. So that's good. That's number 10. Number 11, understand the difference between clean and clear. A lot of dealers will sort of, I don't know, they probably do it on purpose. I don't want to be talking them down, but they try doing it on purpose. They're saying, it's clear title. Oh yeah, it's got a clear title. And you think, oh, that's great, it's got a clear title. Well, it just means they're free and clear to sell you the car, free and clear of liens. That's all that means. You can still buy a clean car, a clear car with a salvage title. What you need to know is whether or not the report is clean in the United States. In Canada, they just call it normal. But so they might say clear a lot, but make sure that you're knowing that it's clean, because you can buy a clear title car that's salvaged. So there you go. So my humble advice is that an astute buyer would take the car on a fantastic test drive, long, not the dealership 10-minute test drive. I would pull my own CarFax. And I'll tell you where that is right now. So in the United States, you can go to cheapcarfax.net, and I think it's like $5 or $6. And but in Canada, to get the Canadian version, you can go to ebay.ca, and there's always someone there selling reports. And I just recommend that you look at how many they've sold and what their feedback rating is, their star rating is, to make sure that it's legit. And but yeah, you just enter the VIN in, and you enter the email you want to get it, and they'll send it over to you for like $5 or $6. Worth its weight in gold. So there's that. And then also in the States, you can go to vehiclehistory.com to get a free report. It's totally free, and it has the vast majority of the information that CarFax has. And so you can cross-reference because they pull their information from different providers, so you can see additional stuff. It's sort of like an addendum to CarFax. So I would recommend doing that. And so if you like this video, subscribe so you can get more of them. I put out awesome content like this each and every week. Share and ask questions. I'll try to get to all of them. Thanks, man. See you later. CarFax. Woo! Boo!